Everybody, welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada, and you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. It's Tuesday, and on Tuesdays I always jump on and do a sketch challenge, and it just dawned on me that I have my sketch sitting over by my computer, so I'm going to grab it in just a second. And tonight I'm doing a Scrappy card using the Ocean Friends, well, it's actually Friends of the Ocean Designer Series paper. And this is a great way to use up some of those scraps or use up some of your Designer Series paper that I know you have lots of, because I do. And I'm pretty sure you do too. So this is a great way to use up some of that Scrappy Designer Series paper. What I did is I went to I have a plastic envelope that I keep all of my Designer Series paper packages in, a separate one, and I just throw my scraps into it. And I went and I just pulled out every little piece of this Designer Series paper that I had in there, and that's what I'm using to make this card. It's a Starburst card. I know I've shared this before, but I love making this, and I just always love how it turns out. So that's what I'm going to make today. So let me just grab the sketch so I can show it to you, and then we'll get started. Okay, here we go. Should have grabbed that before. All right, so let me show you this sketch. Now, first, I have to apologize. This is not a very good sketch, but it's really hard to do this kind of Starburst card in a sketch, but hopefully you get the idea. So your card base is 5.5 by 8.5. You've got a piece of basic white that's 4 inches by 5.25, and then and I'm actually going to trim that. So it's 4 inches by 5.25 to start. We'll trim it down a little bit. And then I've said 8 to 10 pieces of various widths, anywhere from about half an inch to an inch, maybe a little bit more if you want it. I've said 8 inches, but it could be 6 inches. Really, you're just trying to have it so it will go across on the diagonal, or at least half on the diagonal. So 6 to 8 inches long. And then 2 3/8 inch circle punch, or I'm going to use, I think, the 2 inch, but you need a circle punch or a die so that you can cut a piece that will cover over all those ends. Hope I've got my piece of basic black, but I will grab it. And then a piece of basic white to fit that sentiment. So I'm just going to see where my basic black is, because it's not here. Okay, gosh, lots of things today. All right, here I've got my basic black that I can punch out from. Okay, so that's the sketch. Easy to do, easy to make. So I'm going to use this Thanks So Much from the Ocean Friends stamp set, but I'm using all sorts of pieces of scraps from that Friends of the Ocean Designer Series paper. So I've gone ahead and cut out some strips that are varying. I went half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, and I think I even went 1.5 inches. And then what you do, so I've cut some of them because I didn't think you wanted to see me spend the time to cut too many. But so this is 1 inch wide by 5.25, because this was one of my scraps. And so what you're going to do is you're going to cut these on the diagonal from either the left or right point on the top to the opposite point on the bottom. So I line up that point in the track of my trimmer, the top one, and then I turn this one so it's the opposite point in the track of the trimmer. And it doesn't matter if it's not exact. And then you just cut that into a triangle. And I know there's a name for these triangles where they have a right angle to them, but I don't know what it is now. So you can go ahead and do that. I've got a few of them cut. And if you have cut too many, well, you can make more than one card. Okay, so if I need more, I will cut more. So I've got a piece of basic white that's 4 inches by 5.25. Now I'm going to use my silicone mat because this does get kind of gluey. One of the ways you can do this is to use adhesive sheets and then just cover this with an adhesive sheet, and then that you can just lay this down. I find that if I don't get it in exactly the right spot, then I find it's almost impossible to get it off. So I like to use glue, even though it makes my fingers very sticky. So I'm just going to try and not get too much glue, as I say that, as it splodges out, because I had a bit of a clog in there. All right, so I'm going to try and get not too much glue. And I wonder, I do. So one of the ways that you can do this is, if you don't want to use your glue and get too much glue on it, you can take a sponge dauber and just kind of take some of that glue off. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find a spot to start. I want my starburst to end down here because I'm going to put my circle over top of it. And so I want it to stick up over the top so that I can trim that off and come down. And so I will trim off all of these pieces. And then it's just a matter of taking varying widths, some narrower than others, some wider than others. So here's a really nice piece. And you can move them up and down so that you can vary the widths. Okay, it seems to me I have another silicone mat here. So I'm going to take my other silicone mat and I'm going to put some glue there. I'm going to put my lid on that glue, and then I'm just going to use my sponge dauber to put my glue on, and that way I am not getting a ton of glue that's going to splodge out. So I'm just kind of dabbing my sponge dauber, dabbing my dauber onto this, and I'm going to butt these right up against each other. Try not to overlap them, and you just carry on around that starburst until you have it full. Yes, this works much better. So now I've got glue on this. So we'll turn that over. And you can alternate colors. Just make sure that the end of this goes up over the top so that you can take and trim it. The reason I like the glue, like I said, is because I can move this around. You have that wiggle room when you use liquid glue, as opposed to using the adhesive sheets, even though that's definitely easier. Now here's a 1/2 inch strip. So this is going to be a tiny little one, but I think I kind of like the look of, I want another orange one. So I'm going to just take this, and now I've got sticky fingers. Try not to get, trying to cut this and not have my fingers stick to the paper. There we go. Couple of really thin little pieces that I can use. Hey Deborah, welcome. Okay, oopsie, let's bring that back into the camera. Got too many silicone mats going on here. So that's a little tiny piece. So we're just going to work around, and again, just butt these pieces up. If you don't get it quite right up to the thing, it's not a real problem. Okay, so now I'm going to do a really wide piece. And if you wanted to use, I'm kind of sticking to the backs, what kind of is the back side of this paper. So I'm not using the starfish and the other critters. I'm kind of sticking to the patterns just because I really love these. But I love the bright colors. All right, keep going. It doesn't take too long to actually do all of this. So the longer the strip, I mean, you don't have to have them too long, so I've kind of gone crazy on some of these. They're a little bit longer than I need. 6 inches probably would do just fine. then as you get closer to the edge, the sides, you know, you can have smaller and smaller pieces. Where's my glue? I need some more. Oh, no, that's the piece I want to use. Okay, that's the side. Yeah, the sponge dauber definitely is helping me not to get too much glue, because this I have made this, and it's actually, the paper has gotten kind of wavy and a little soggy because it's, if you're just squeezing your liquid glue onto your designer series paper, it definitely can start to get kind of saturated with glue. And that actually just reminds me I need to order some more sponge daubers, because I like to have them for this exact thing. All right, and your circle doesn't have to fit in the, like, what am I trying to say? Your circle, your semicircle that you're going to use doesn't actually have to be right in the center. I just hope my circle is going to be big enough. Okay, this is one of the little tiny pieces. So let's do here. That. Have I got another little tiny piece? Okay. Just want to go over here. Just need one little piece for that corner. Let's use this one. Like I said, this is going to get trimmed off when I'm done, and I need one for this side. Let's bring that up a little bit. These silicone mounts are amazing. You need more than one, because mine get really gunky, and so then I have to take them and wash them. Like that one is really sticky. Like my fingers are sticky. Grab a baby wipe here. See if I can get my, oopsie. All right, come on camera, reconnect. Come on. Oh, that's not good. Come on, little camera, you can do this. So my camera seems to have disconnected from my computer. Let's see if this is going to reconnect itself. Well, that's not good. Says it's connecting. Well, let's just take a minute here because this is definitely disconnected here. Let's see if I can reconnect it. Oh, there we go. Hopefully there we go. Okay, perfect. I don't know what happened there. Actually, that's okay, because it's given my, it's given my piece of sticky paper a chance to dry. Except for that one that's decided to come off. There. Okay, so now what I want to do is you can take and put this into your trimmer, and I will do that in a minute, but until, I'm just going to take and use my paper snips, because it's, you get all those sticky glue pieces, the pieces with the glue on the back, cut off with scissors, my paper snips, and then I can put it into my trimmer, because it's easier to clean my paper snips than it is to try and get the gunk off my trimmer. So we're just taking and cutting those extra that's those extra pieces off that's stuck over the edges. Ooh, that's very pretty. Oh gosh, I got sticky. Okay. So I've got lots left over. Oh, everything is sticky. So definitely can make another card. I'm sure you have lots of designer series paper that you can use. Okay, so I am going to take now, and I want to trim this to be 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm just going to take and trim a piece off the bottom, and then I can put that and trim it to 3 3/4 wide. And then I'm going to just take and trim. You don't have to do this, but it just kind of cleans up those edges that I missed when I used my paper snips. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is, I've got a piece of basic black because I thought that these colors would just pop on basic black. So this is 5.5 by 8.5. You can make this, if I wanted to, I could make it go either way. So I could put my sentiment here. I'm not sure. We'll see which way I decide. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, and we'll score it at 4 1/4. My picture in the sketch has it going landscape, but that doesn't mean I have to do that. It's just a guide. So we could either do it like this, or when we go to put the sentiment on, we'll put it here. So we'll see. Either way, this piece is going to adhere on to the card base. Like that. Isn't that fun? I love the way it looks. Okay, so now I need to stamp the sentiment somewhere. I have some, okay, so there's some basic white for the inside of the card. There's my black for my circle. Here's my little piece of white that I'm going to stamp on. And I'm going to use pumpkin pie because I love orange. And I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says, thanks so much. I'm going to put it right here in the middle because I'm going to use a circle on this one as well. So let's just see. I was thinking my sketch said 2 3/8 inch, but let's just see if I can use the 1 3/4 inch. Oh, I could just. Now remember, you want to cut this in to a semicircle. So I'm going to punch this so there's more of the white at the bottom. And then I'm going to use the 2 inch and just punch a 2 inch circle. And I probably should have waited to glue this on, but I think it's okay. So I'm going to just take and glue this on to my black circle. Like that. And then you can bring your trimmer in, and I'm just going to trim this to be a semicircle. So I clearly am going to have it going landscape like this because I have stamped it and cut it. If I had wanted to have it go this way, I would have needed to do it the opposite way. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to use dimensionals to put this on. So I'm going to share this card in a blog hop that's coming up that's all about Scrappy, using your scraps. And so I made two other cards, Scrappy cards, that you can check out in the sneak peeks, at least 4. So this piece of basic white is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And of course I have lots of these strips left. Yeah, so you can check out the sneak peeks of the other projects and my project that is in this tutorial. And if you're interested in the tutorial, you can get it free if you purchase, put an order in with me, a $50 order, or you can purchase it in my online store. So that comes out at I think this post will go live on the actually I'm going to put it this way because the scallops are going the opposite way. Goes live I think on the 5th of March, so stay tuned. It's going to be a great blog hop and the tutorial, because we all have scraps to use up. Yeah, I can't believe I'm the only one that has lots of designer series paper hanging around, so this is a great way to use some of those extra pieces up. There we go. Get my scallops going the right way. Okay, now of course we have to have some embellishments, and I pulled out the Sunny Day dots, iridescent dots that are in Pool Party, Pumpkin Pie, maybe Peach Pie, but Pumpkin Pie they go with as well, and Melon Mambo. So we're going to use some of those on this card. Let's see. I think I'm going to use the pumpkin, or the orange ones. They might be Peach Pie, they may be Pumpkin Pie, I'm not sure, but there. I love these because they're so bright and cheery. So there we go. That is my Scrappy card, Sunburst card. You can do this with any piece, any pattern of designer series paper, or combinations of, if you want to. The memorable blooms that is out, that is one of the celebration items, would be really fun using this with all of the different blossoms. But a great way to use up your scraps. All right. So join me tomorrow night at 6:30. I will be live with a technique for you. I'm a little bit different than a technique. I'm going to make a set of note cards to give away as a gift. So I'm going to show you how you can use some note cards and make a little gift set to give to somebody. So that's at 6:30 tomorrow night. So hopefully you can join me then. Hope you have a great evening, everybody. Happy stamping. Bye.